Good morning. Definitely a haircut today. I'll be down to see Amo. Need a sip of coffee. So I heard something yesterday that really kind of took me back on my feet, to be honest. I was listening to Jim Rohn, and he said, human beings are the only creatures on the planet that don't automatically reach their maximum potential. If you think about that, a tree doesn't limit itself. A tree doesn't stop and say, I'm only going to grow so tall because I'm afraid I might get blown over by wind, or I'm only going to expand so much. A tree expands as much as it possibly can. It's limited only by the forces that are out of its control. Rain, fire, wind, things like that. Other animals, they expand to the most that they possibly can. They become the most that they possibly can. We're the only animals walking around that don't do that. We don't become the most that we possibly can most of the time. I mean, what is the possibility for a human? Limitless, right? I mean, every time we think that there's a limit as to what we can do, then somebody breaks through that limit. But we stop ourselves even from trying things that we know we probably can do. I mean, how many of you want to write a book? How many of you want to travel to a certain place? And obviously we can't travel now, but there's going to come a time where that restriction goes away. How many of you have wanted to accomplish certain things in your life, be in a certain level of shape, do all kinds of, and have never done it? And why? Well, what's the one reason that we don't do anything? Fear. False evidence appearing real, right? Fear. That's what stops us from doing anything. I mean, if one of your goals is that you've wanted to be at a certain level of physical shape and you've never done it, is there really anything in your way? And if you've had physical ailments, start looking up YouTube videos of people that have had all of the ailments in the world and still have managed to get in tremendous physical shape. I saw a video once of a guy who's a competitive swimmer and he doesn't have arms. He swims only with his legs and runs into the end of the thing with his head in order to hit the timer deal. You know, Les Brown, who's a lovely motivational speaker. If you've never listened to Les, please turn him on. He's got a great way about him, and he has a great story about how he initially got into radio. He wanted to be a radio guy, and he tells the story about how he gets into radio. It's a beautiful story, and he does it fantastic. But he languages this idea like this. We all have certain talents that are given to us, you know, from wherever. God, if that's who you believe in, the universe, whatever, however the world is structured, we all have certain abilities. And if we don't maximize those abilities, he says, imagine you're on your deathbed and the talents that were sent to you to be developed and shared with the world are lying there around you, standing there looking at you dying on your deathbed, and they're saying to you, we came to you and entrusted you to share us with the world, and you never did it, and now we are forced to die with you, and no one will ever have the opportunity to learn the lessons that they could have learned because you've never done all of this. You've wasted your time doing things that were not productive. You've wasted your time worrying about things that don't matter. You've wasted your time watching television, going and getting drunk, whatever, but not maximizing your most potential. You know, at the end of the day, remember that there's two types of disciplines. That was wrong. There's two types of pains. There's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Discipline is simply getting up and doing everything that you need to do in order to accomplish your goals every day, little bit. How do we eat the elephant? One bite at a time. But regret is where you put that off and you look at it as some giant thing that you're going to do tomorrow that you never do. And then all of a sudden you're at the end of your life and you have not done all of the things that you want to do. Tony Robbins talks about it this way. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And a lot of times what happens is we don't pay attention to what we're doing. We get wrapped up in the little stuff. We don't look at our big stuff. We don't look at our path. And so we kind of get caught up in the river. And then all of a sudden, we're in a boat with no oars, and we're 100 yards from the waterfall, and then we go, oh, crap. I wish I woulda, I wish I coulda, I wish I shoulda. And that's not a place that's a good place to be. Maximize your potential. A message for all of us to think about every day. Be the most that you can be. And remember, we got to figure out why. Why do you want to do that? Well, that why is up to you. Why? See as many people as you can. Do as many things as you can. Be everything that you can. Because if you don't want to sit there at the end of your days and wonder, I wish I would have done all these things. T had a birthday yesterday. And it's not a birthday that ends in 0. A lot of times those birthdays that end in 0 somehow get our attention. But this trip around that we take, it goes by fast. And if we don't pay attention and tell the people that we care about how we feel about them and make sure that we do the things that we want to do, the next thing you know, all of a sudden it's going to be, you're not physically able to do stuff and you're just limited, and you look back and go, why didn't I do more? You want to be able to sit at the end of the day and not have any regrets. For me, it's that rocking chair test. If I'm sitting in the rocking chair on the porch and that's where I'm at this point, hopefully looking at an ocean, because why wouldn't you want to do that? And I want to be able to look back and say, I did it all. I did everything that I wanted to do. I seized the day, and when I had the opportunity to expand and become the most of myself, I did. And have I missed thousands of opportunities already at the age of 53? Of course. Absolutely. I could have done so much more by 53 had I thought properly and learned this stuff and applied it, and not got wrapped up in what other people cared about, not got wrapped up in relationships that weren't supportive, made better decisions, not got wrapped up in alcohol. But that's all part of the journey. That's all part of how we learn and what we need to do in order to grow. Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from making mistakes. Mistakes come from bad judgment. That's the cycle. So learn the lessons, but every day get up and look at yourself and decide, what is it that I most want to be, do, and become? What is it that I want to achieve? What is it that I want to bring to this world? And start with the end in mind and decide, I'm going to do everything that I can do in order to go after that today. Do what's important first, then do all the other crap. But forget about that stuff and focus on what you can control and what you want to be. My message today, for the rest of our lives, for all of us, let's become the most of what we possibly can be. Because when we do that, when you achieve great things, when you do things that are beyond your comfort zone, that's when life really gets exciting. That's when you feel the most proud of yourself. And at the end of your days, don't you want to look back and be proud? Don't you want to look back and think, I did a good job. I was great. I did everything that I could. I was the best role model I could be for my kids. I was the best person that I could be for myself. and I had a great run. I hope that makes some sense to you. It did to me. When Jim said that, I stopped and I went, wow, I never really thought of it that way. So have a great day, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you're all having a great time. Thank you very much for watching. Dolores, Aaron, Tammy, great to see all of you. Who else is on there today? Dolores was watching from the beginning. Make it a great day, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.